Your burger, your way.
The time is 7:30.
Shaken yet standing firm. This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And Automotive Art Cayman. Your car, our passion.
And now,
Radio Cayman presents
The Buzz. An insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local environment. This is where we address the topics that matter.
Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, Cayman. Happy Tuesday. I want to say I had a bit of a long weekend again, but that's only because I wasn't feeling the best yesterday. So kind of a long weekend, not really. So really the week is kicking off for me today. It's a beautiful day out there. Again, the roads are empty. It's July 15th. I have in studio with me this morning, I have an author. And she's not just an author, she's also in the corporate world. Her name is Monisha Batra. She's a senior manager at KPMG here in the Cayman Islands. And she's also the author of The 18 Steps. But we're not going to be hearing about Monisha's corporate world per se. We're going to be hearing a little bit more about her creative side as it has to do with her book, The 18 Steps. It's a poetic narrative of self-growth and emotional evolution. She's performed at places like Floetry at the Harkwell Theatre, Books and Books Camana Bay, and the Cayman Islands Poetry Festival. She blends storytelling with advocacy, travel, and a poetic voice that bridges cultures. So good morning, Monisha. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Kathy. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you, I have to say. I know right before the show started, we both said we're not the best morning people, but here we are.
Here we are, right on time.
Right on time and getting through it, absolutely. So the 18 Steps. I want to hear about this book, but I want to hear a little bit about you. Just tell us, paint a bit of a picture about who Monisha is.
Sure. As a person, I started writing when I was 8 years old, I believe. And what inspired me, I used to read a lot of books back in the day, and the story of Anne Frank, the diary. And I was like, wow, what a way to express everything that's in your mind onto a piece of paper. And that started the way to me putting things on the paper. It started more narratively because I was a kid, but when I moved to my teens, it started more of expressing my emotions on paper. Mm-hmm. A lot of times back home, I wasn't able to express my emotions freely, maybe because of a lot of reasons. And then...
Well, where's back home?
Back home is India for me.
Okay.
And then poetry, writing, journaling, that came as a breath of fresh air where I could get everything decluttered from my mind up to the paper. So that started like a journey when I was 8 or 9. Then I picked up poetry all through, gave it a break for about a year or two when I was in college, and then picked it back again. The first time I did an open mic was like, oh, wow, can you express what you write in your paper, what's in your mind, to an unknown audience? And found that as a pretty safe space to express what I write. A lot of dilemmas, a lot of confusions came through when you're adulting, when you're going through your teenage up to your corporate first steps in post-graduation. I think those are the kind of things I wanted to make sure I put down in my first book based on personal experience. And that then slowly paved way to the 18 Steps as well.
So a book came before the 18 Steps.
What came before the 18 Steps was a lot of journaling, a lot of poetry, a lot of dilemmas. Not every opportunity came your way instantly. You had to think through it, contemplate, move to different cities to explore those opportunities in India, and then explore opportunities across the world. There were a lot of aberrations of, oh, will I be allowed to do this? Vis-a-vis, will I be allowed to do that?
What do you mean by that? Will I be allowed?
So let me put it this way. We're given every opportunity. However, there is this inherent aberration of will I be able to excel among so many people, having that lens of perhaps judgment. And so my family has been very supportive, but so I never faced so many issues, but I've seen a lot of people going to different cities for opportunities and then sometimes excelling, sometimes facing a flashback. So I wanted to put all of those dilemmas that people have when they have those confusions of should I take that leap of faith? Should I take that step forward? And wanted to make sure that everything combined comes in form of that book. So it was 3 years of me thinking through it and putting that thought together, observing people around me, having that conversation, and then bringing that out.
Okay. And you had said something in really in the beginning of describing what drove you to write.
Mm-hmm.
And you had said there was a lot of things that you couldn't say.
Mm-hmm.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Do you mean like culturally, or were you expected as a young girl at that time not to express yourself?
I wouldn't say I wasn't able to express. I would say perhaps I never had siblings. I've been a single child of my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And when you move into your early teens, that's when you realize that, hey, my parents are my best friends, sure, but there are so many things that you go through when you're from 13 to 17, those foundational years, and you want somebody to share it with. And oftentimes when you think, who do I share it with? Should I share it with my friends? Should I share it with my parents? Yes, to a certain degree, but then so many things keep juggling in your mind, and the most unbiased way to do it is express it on paper.
Yes.
For me, it was that, and that's how I started journaling and writing every day. At the end of the day, when I closed, my mind and I slept, it was decluttered. It was a fresh slate. Whilst if I didn't do it, there were so many thoughts, decision making. Should I do this the next day? As simple as, do I get into this college? Will it be a right decision? Or how do I prepare for my next test? Those foundation years we're very innocent, and we don't know how big or small those decisions will impact our daily lives. But when I came out and expressed everything in a piece of paper before the end of the day, I felt like a happy person. So
I can totally relate to that. I think I had a very similar draw to writing as you did.
Uh-huh.
And it's the same way, kind of started really super, super young, probably around the same age as you, and reading from like a really high level from first grade. It's that influence of reading a lot of books,
yeah,
and it just kind of naturally makes you lean to writing.
absolutely.
And poetry was definitely something I touched on. So when you started doing poetry, did you think of yourself as a poet then? Did you study poets? Was it a very natural thing for you to do, or did you seem like this isn't really a normal way for me to express myself, but I'm going to try to figure it out right now?
I think I was always into reading novels, reading poetic books. So a lot of inspiration comes from Robert Frost, William Wordsworth, Shakespeare, Rumi, and the likes. Very late in stage, but very early, I think Robert Frost and William Wordsworth were the ones which were part of the curriculum,
Yes.
I would say.
Yeah, they
and
were.
also made the foundation for so many of us to get into those poetic readings, apart from obviously a lot of other simplest novels that were there.
Right.
So always very heavy into reading, and that sort of helped the brain tick to start writing, but never studied poetry apart from curriculum in the beginning.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with the 18 steps, the name of this book, how did that come about?
That's a good question. So 18 Steps basically is a compilation of emotions wherein there's a parallel story running of this lady or character, which is called Amanda. It's a fictitious character, but it's based on observations of every person or every youngster and how they resonate to it. So 18 steps means all of those 18 steps she took from infancy through adolescence, and every year, whenever she had a dilemma, whether it be taking that next step in choosing a subject or moving forward with her love life or getting to a college or starting her corporate life. Whenever there was a dilemma in all of those 18 years, she resorted to writing a piece of poetry to solve those dilemmas. So hence 18 steps, those 18 steps in 18 years of her life from infancy through when she started her corporate.
So there's basically the character Amanda in each of these 18 poems?
Yes.
Okay. And she's giving her 18 kind of big rules that she's learned in life, experiences. So how does she evolve?
So she evolves initially when she's younger. She has more dilemmas and a lot of ifs and buts. But then she evolves into somebody who's able to take that leap of faith, take those risks, take those chances, and sees the world with a different lens where every opinion of her is not judged. And she understands it's not just the end or the destination, while the journey matters equally. So if you see the story unfold, you'll find when she was, say, 6 to when she was 17, how her decision-making changed and how her set of people around her influenced her as well. Oftentimes we think that we stay in a silo and, we can decide what we need. But in reality, so many things from the external environment and internal subconscious affect our actual decision-making. So it touches beautifully upon those areas as well. And what she thought would be a result of something and what actually happened. And there she was like, wait a second, this is not what I expected. And then she becomes a little delusional, and then she resorts to poetry, and then it souls it back, and then she comes back on track. So.
Okay. So my question to you now is, Amanda a little reflective of you at all?
Partly, yes.
Partly, yes. So there's a little bit of you.
A little bit of me and a little bit of everyone else around.
Okay.
So
now I swear you had said you touched on kind of the mental, dealing with certain mental aspects or emotional aspects. Can you elaborate on that?
In terms of writing?
Yes.
I feel today we advocate about mental health more than any other time in the world, especially with everything going around us. Writing is an expression of art. For me, it's an art of feelings which is made more audible. For me, I feel every one of us has a way of expressing. Some of us use music, some of us use painting.
Yeah.
Writing in different forms, be it poetry, be it journaling, be it just listening to those verses of music. Poetry is everywhere around us.
Yes.
So it helps us get a mental clarity in what we're doing at the end of the day. And I feel a lot of us have the best pieces of poetry written on the back of our scribbles and the back of our notebooks in classrooms. But they often don't come out. They're those hidden stories that stay in the mind, they stay in the soul. So for mental health and emotions to be more aligned and to be stirred in synergy, I think writing is really, really important. It just helps you get everything that is in your mind out on a blank slate where there's no judgment, there's no bias, there's no lens of what I wrote, why I wrote. But it's with me, but it's still not with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
It stays with me, but it doesn't stay with me in my mind, but it stays with me. And oftentimes some of these journaling pieces make way to beautiful poetries, be it haiku or other forms.
That's very true.
So, yeah.
Well, writing it's a form of therapy, as
Absolutely.
is, right? And as you said, a way of gaining some clarity. So journaling has always been one of those ways of gaining clarity, whether it's writing kind of those gratitude sentences in your day, or this is what I'm grateful for, this is what I'm looking forward to, whether it's planning out your day. There's a very therapeutic essence that comes from being able to write and express yourself somehow.
Absolutely. And it brings out all your emotions, whether you're sad, whether you're in grief, whether you're happy, or sometimes you just blank. You don't know what's happening. You're a little delusional some days. And it gives you an indication that it's okay not to be okay on some days.
Yes.
And it's when you go to, like you correctly said, when you go to a therapist, they often say express, don't keep it in the mind. And this is like therapy with rhythm. You bring it out in words that sound like a jingle to your ear sometimes or a jingle to your pen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that. We're going to touch a little bit more on that. We're going to go to commercial break right now. And when we come back, we're going to discuss a little bit more about the 18 steps with author Monisha Batra.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Captain Swanson Curry Ebanks, 1914 through 1989. Curry Ebanks was the oldest of 10 children of John Audnett and Celestia Elvira Ebanks and attended West Bay Primary School. Taught by some of the great Caymanian sea captains, he took command of his first ship at 17. He qualified as a master mariner at 21 and continued his life at sea until a car accident terminated his maritime career in 1960. He married 3 times and was widowed twice, and he fathered 8 children. He is best remembered for his victorious battle with the 1944 hurricane, which overtook his ship, the Jemson, en route from Swan Island to Grand Cayman. At the height of the storm, he decided to demast the ship to prevent it from rolling over, which would have meant certain death for everyone aboard. During the next 8 days, the ship had to be demasted 3 times. Each time, Captain Curry had the sails put into a seaman's bag and attached to the bow to function as a sea anchor, guiding the ship purely by dead reckoning. When the storm subsided and he got his first confirmed sighting, he was 5 miles off East End.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Summer's heating up and the water's calling. From cruising the coast in your boat to riding Yamaha Wave Runners, Automotive Art Cayman will get you ready. We offer expert servicing by Yamaha certified staff, as well as engine repairs, performance upgrades, engine and electrical installation, and more. Need it tuned, cleaned, repaired, or race ready? We'll keep you running smooth, whether you're riding waves or racing them. Trust Automotive Art for expert service and upgrades. Find us on Shedden Road and follow us at Auto Art KY on Instagram and Automotive Art Cayman on Facebook.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. We are talking about poetry this morning with author Monisha Batra. We're talking about her poetry book called The 18 Steps, which is a collection of 18 poems. And the poems are written through the lens of a character named Amanda. She's in each of these 18 poems, and it's about basically the first 18 years of her life and her decision-making process and how she grows and reflects. And it a little bit speaks to Monisha as well. A little bit of Amanda's life is reflected in Monisha's life as well, so it's a bit of a personal journey. Mm-hmm. And we had touched on the mental wellness aspect when it comes to poetry, when it comes to writing, expression, and how writing can be very, very therapeutic to help somebody express themselves and just get things out. I know when I'm going through some things and I tell Susan over there, Susan tells me, Kathy, just write it out and then take it to the beach and then burn it. And I don't know what else I'm supposed to do with it. I've done it so far where I've written it out. I just don't take it to the beach and burn it. But I absolutely believe it's a great way to be able to get your feelings out, to process emotions, and then to come back and read something later can be absolutely incredible, especially when you're in a different or more evolved kind of state of mind. Absolutely. You can see that growth for yourself and how your thinking process has changed and whatnot. So when it comes to writing for you, how has that impacted your mental wellness?
I think you covered a very important aspect about writing helps you get that emotional stability a lot of times when we're stirred. And one of the examples that hits me when I'm talking about this with you is during the stressful times of COVID. I mean, about 5 years back, everything came to a standstill and there was mental commotion everywhere, uncertainty of tomorrow and whatnot. I remember being just moving to a new city, starting with a new organization and a brand new slate, and everything came to a stop in 5 days of my moving. So I was practically stranded in a hotel. The hotel said, we're shutting shop. Oh. You need to find a place. The place that I had signed probably a lease agreement with won't let me in because I had just traveled. So there was a lot to process, and I'm giving that as a context because oftentimes we see that happening in our lives when we're taking certain decisions. So many of us here in Cayman have moved from different parts of the world. There'll be uncertainties we would have seen in our decision making throughout our journeys. And that happened to me during COVID. But what kept me sane, so to say, or what kept me in place and focused was poetry and journaling, because I could every day write what I'm thinking on a piece of paper, look back after a week and say, yeah, I'm a better version of myself. I paved my way through this, and the journey upward and onward is just going to be better from here, more stable from here, and I could cross these difficult days with strength, with a lot of demeanor, and my next few days are just going to be better. So I think for me, mental strength and mental clarity comes a lot when I'm able to express it on paper. I've also not burnt it yet, so they're all they're all in my cupboard, safely kept. Hopefully, somebody else, flip through them and see how I've evolved as a person. But definitely brings out a better person, a more stronger person out of you when you're able to get that mental clarity and refocus on things that matter more than all the clutter that kind of camouflages your decision making.
Well, it's definitely evolved you as an artist because you don't just write, you also perform some of your poetry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what was that transition like? What was that feeling first taking your writing to a stage? Now it's not just there for people to read, but you're actually performing it. Totally different experience.
Totally different. And I feel the first time I moved to stage to perform, I had this piece of paper in my hand, and I really wanted it to reach to the audience, to the people who were sitting out there in the room. But a side of me said, this is a very personal angle or opinion that you share about a certain incident or a certain thing that changed your life. Would you be able to express that? Because it's so personal. Like I said, some of our stories often stay hidden in our scribbles.
Mm-hmm.
But what matters in all of these places, and I've realized by doing so many open mics, the first time jitters are natural for all of us when we go up there and speak our mind and our heart out of what we've written. But those open mics are the safest space for everyone, all of us, whether we are poets or whether we are budding artists or whether we've just written a few lines of prose, to go out there and share it with fellow people who are equally raw, who are equally authentic, who are equally in need to share and express their emotions through poetry. So I think the first time I went to an open mic, I had those first time jitters to be able to share or not to share, definitely. But after that, it became a way of life for me. It became so habitually and beautifully addictive for me to go up there and share my emotions, because I don't know if the right word would be a vent, but it definitely provided me an audience who would listen to me without any lens of judgment. And that feels so beautifully addictive every single time you go up on the stage. Because those people, even though they're different people every time, or some of them could be repetitive, but they're sitting there listening to you as if they don't know you. And you're doing the same thing, you're reciprocating that gesture. So that safe space is what gives this platform even more credence than just writing it in for somebody to read it.
Okay. I love that. I love how you just expressed all that. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
What would you want readers to take away from the 18 steps?
Oh, that's a good question. Life is a journey. There are so many different bends and routes that you need to take to reach the ultimate destination. And it's not going to be the same every day. Life, there are some, we're too harsh on ourselves.
Yes.
We bend upon perfection every single day.
Yep.
But it's okay not to be okay some days. It's okay not to feel at your very best. But it's a journey. You'll have your ifs and buts. You'll have your bends and turns. But we need to appreciate that life is a continuous journey.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. And then second, every voice matters. Every single voice, every opinion of yours matters. I might be confident one day. I might have a shivery voice another day. I might be having not so good day or a good day. I would never say I had a bad day. I'd say not so good day. However, every single time it matters. Mm-hmm. And we need to understand that our voice, every single person in this world, we matter. And that's what I would say would be the takeaway from the 18 steps. That don't be afraid to take those decisions, take that leap of faith, take that risk, because it's all going to be worth it. It's all going to add up to your journey towards the end.
All right. Now, I love that every voice does matter. And I know that and just think about it, when you keep something inside, how that eats away at you and you just feel terrible, right? So taking a line from one of my favorite artists, Madonna, express yourself, don't suppress yourself. That's one of my favorite lines. I like to say it all the time. We only got about a minute left. So if there's any advice that you'd want to give to young Caymanian writers that might be interested in poetry or just writing in general, journaling, what would your advice be?
Oh, absolutely. I would say write, scribble, get your voice out there. Your rhythm will be your signature. We all want to hear you. We all want to see you express. It could be just picking up the guitar and performing a jingle that you wrote. 3 lines of poetry, 10 lines of poetry, doesn't matter. Come to platforms like Floetry, for example. Come to all of these workshops. I'm happy to conduct workshops if people need a vent or a way or direction. There are so many different safe spaces on the island. Don't be afraid to write. Don't be afraid to express. Be your authentic self and don't seek validation. You're the person who will validate your own writings and your own expression.
Oh, wonderful. I love that. Those great closing words. Yeah. And for those who are interested in getting your book, The 18 Steps.
That's available across all platforms. Amazon, Kindle if you love a soft copy. Notes and Barnes, and it'll soon be available at the next chapter as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for joining me so much, Monisha, on The Buzz this morning. It was good to have you. I'm gonna be speaking with another author come 8:15 after the morning news, and then we're gonna have a third segment with FS8. So all about fitness in our last segment.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Monisha. Studio time now by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
Shopping just got smarter at Foster's thanks to our brand new Smart Shelves. We've upgraded our shelf tags to a digital system that provides clear, accurate pricing, all updated in real time for better decisions. If you spot a black tag, that means the price dropped just for you. It's faster, it's more reliable, and it's all designed to make your shopping smoother. Smart Shelves, smarter shopping. Only at Foster's. Better because we care.
Covering Little Cayman, Cayman Bride. Cover me.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
I'm April Cummings with your latest news. Director of Workforce Opportunities and Residency Cayman, Jeremy Scott, says intelligence-led strategies and proactive vetting are essential to address issues like unjustifiable work permits and worker exploitation.
Creating a risk offenders register that tracks instances where we have encountered either employers or persons who have acted in violation, puts them on record for a year or two, where any applications, say for instance, coming in by an employer who's known to have offended before, unfortunately, they're not going to get the green light. They're going to get the red light, and we're going to do more diligent measures to ensure that these applications are genuine.
On Radio Cayman's Talk Today, Mr. Scott outlined the approach work aims to take, from identifying key industries that are at high risk of abusing the system to more scrutiny in the early stages of the work permit process.
One of my measures is to introduce a pre-vetting criteria framework that allows us to detect a greater number of these abuses before they even get to the decision maker. So this is not just a shot in the dark or a guessing game. We're actually taking intelligence details that we're actually finding from active investigations and findings, and then spin it to becoming actually a more robust vetting criteria. And the public can look forward to that.
With some 4,000 applications coming in a month and decisions on close to 6,000 applications, Mr. Scott acknowledged that some of the scrutiny may slow the process down. But he also highlighted the importance of weeding out unnecessary applications. You can watch the full discussion on Radio Cayman's YouTube channel. 2 new appointments strengthened the leadership team at the Health Services Authority. Dr. Sheila Lamsey-Ebanks is the new Director of Clinical Support Services, and Dr. Karen Stewart is the new Director of Nursing. HSA CEO Lizette Yearwood.
We were extremely proud to welcome Dr. Lamsey-Ebanks and Dr. Stewart into their new roles. Their leadership and deep commitment to the community will be invaluable as we continue to enhance our delivery and access to health care. Additionally, having served the HSA in previous capacities gives them the distinction of being familiar with the organization's strategic objectives and its vision of providing accessible and comprehensive care at all levels of engagement.
Dr. Lamsey-Ebanks brings more than 20 years of clinical experience, and Dr. Karen Stewart, 30 years. A strong showing for Cayman with 9 medals in just the first 2 days of the Island Games in Orkney, Scotland, and 2 are gold. Karthik Adepa is racking up the medals with his performances in men's gymnastics, including a first gold for Cayman in the individual parallel bars. Swimmer Sierra Broadbelt won gold for the women's 100-meter butterfly. That is your local news at this hour. I'm April Cummings. Now to the BBC for stories making headlines around the world.
BBC News with Danielle Yawowiecka. President Trump has told the BBC he's disappointed with President Putin, but he's not done with him. Asked in an interview whether he trusted the Russian leader, Mr. Trump said after a pause that he trusted almost nobody. He said they'd have what he called a great conversation, but then Mr. Putin would knock down a building in Kyiv. Human rights lawyers in Sudan say nearly 250 civilians have been killed by the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces during attacks on villages in North Kordofan state on Saturday. Reports say the RSF shot some people and burned others alive in their homes before burying their bodies in mass graves. A report by Doctors Without Borders says Ethiopian forces executed 3 of its staff during the war in Tigray. Ethiopia's government has not yet responded. The treason trial for Tanzania's main opposition leader is underway in the commercial capital Dar es Salaam. Tundu Lissu was arrested in April after addressing a public rally calling for reforms. Syria's defence minister has announced a ceasefire in the predominantly Druze city of Suwaida after clashes with Bedouin tribes killed about 100 people. It follows agreements with what he called the city's notables and dignitaries. The Spanish foreign minister has called for unity against racism and xenophobia following several days of anti-immigration violence. The attacks included calls to hunt migrants. A chain of tiny islands in southern Japan have experienced an unwanted milestone. They've been hit by more than 2,000 earthquakes in the last few weeks. Some tremors were small, but all were strong enough to be felt. A group of Indonesians have been found alive after spending several hours swimming to an island when their boat capsized. They were thrown into the water when a wave hit their speedboat off the Mentawai Islands. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
For the past 10 years, Health City Cayman Islands has been providing a comprehensive range of in-house medical services, from routine care to highly complex surgeries. We've transformed healthcare in the region, saving thousands of lives in the process. Recognized for quality and excellence, Health City brings together expert doctors, the best technology, and the latest techniques to provide world-class healthcare to those who need it. Health City Cayman Islands, a decade of healing.
Flow customers unlock big prepaid rewards every time you activate a plan. Activate any 2-day plan or higher to unlock $100 Foster's voucher. Plus, get up to 2 gig extra data. And that's not all. Enjoy unlimited social media, unlimited calls to Flow, and unlimited SMS. The more you activate, the more loyalty points you earn. Get in on the big prepaid rewards. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcade, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's see what the sky, winds, and seas have in store for us today. Current temperature is 87 degrees. Relative humidity is 72%. The barometric pressure is 29.99 inches and rising. The wind is out of the northeast at 6 knots. Overnight low temperature was 82 degrees. Synopsis indicate a weak ridge of high pressure will dominate the weather pattern across the area during the next 24 hours, coupled with a plume of Saharan dust, bringing generally settled but hazy skies. In addition, light winds and seas will continue to prevail through the next few days. Radar imagery show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area, with a general movement towards the south-southwest. Now, the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for partly cloudy skies, becoming cloudy at times, with a 40% chance of showers. Temperatures will be in the low 90s, with a heat index near 107 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots this morning, varying to the east to southeast by this afternoon at 5 to 10 knots. And seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet. Tonight, expect mainly clear skies with a 30% chance of late night showers and temperatures falling to the low to mid 80s tonight. Your winds will be east to southeast at 5 knots or less, becoming light and variable at times, and seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet as well. High tide will be this afternoon at 12:57, low tide this evening at 6:45. The sun will set this evening at 5 minutes past 7 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:57. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Friday morning. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
Set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Brit K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Brit-K, where people come first.
In accordance with the Standards in Public Life Act, persons in public life must submit their 2025 declarations to the Register of Interest by 30th of July. Persons in public life include members of Parliament, senior public servants, and members of governing bodies of statutory authorities and government companies. Failure to submit a required declaration is an offence under the Act and can result in penalties. For more information or to file your annual declarations to the Register of Interest, visit www.standardsinpubliclifecommission.ky/Register of Interest by 30th of July 2025.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning. Let's check in with traffic, see what's happening on our roads. Traffic is steady on Cool Road. Slight delays expected as you head on down to Georgetown. And coming from the east further up on Shamrock Road, moving on moderately, further down a different story as traffic is steady. On the Linford Pearson Highway coming off of Bobby Thompson Way as well. Agnes Way, little steady traffic. As we look to downtown Georgetown on Edward Street, moving on pretty good, as well as coming from the West Bay four-way stop. Owen Roberts Drive, light traffic. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moderate in both directions. Coming off of the Esther Tibbetts Highway, traffic moving on moderately and continuing on to North Sound Road. Heading towards the Industrial Park area, traffic is moving at a good pace. And that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Remember, click it or ticket.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. It is still a beautiful Tuesday, July 15th out there. I know the weather couldn't have changed that much, right? You heard Susan give the little weather report a little earlier, just now, part of the 8 a.m. news. You are tuned into The Buzz. I am your host, Kathy Miller, and on this segment, I am joined by Lydia Jackman. She is an author whose journey from educator to entrepreneur led to career coaching with a focus on preparing professionals and entrepreneurs and business owners to exit the workplace or let go of the companies and businesses they've built with and go on with clarity on their terms, their life, their career, the way they want it. Lydia, welcome to the show. Good to have you.
Good to be here. Good morning, Kathy, and good morning to all of the listeners wherever you are in the world.
Yes, good morning. Mm-hmm. I know we met a long time ago once before. I was telling you you had a powder monkey booth somewhere. And I met you. I know your husband from volleyball.
Yes.
So I was like, I was just trying to piece these things together here. And I'm excited to have you.
Yes, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Because you've got a lot going on in your life. And I'd love to hear more about it. Yes. I'm impressed by what you're doing.
Oh,
and I think you have a lot of gems that you could be sharing with us.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
You have a debut book, From Stress to Serenity, Cultivating Well-Being Through Career Transitions. And that's what we're going to hear a lot about, and a little bit about the career coaching as well.
Yes, ma'am. And thank you so much. So I actually have a copy here that you can see, and I have a copy here for you.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, yay.
And this is what the book looks like, From Stress to Serenity, Cultivating Well-Being Through Career Transitions. And as you can see, it's not a very thick book, and that is intentional.
It's because we're focused on our careers, and
yes, the truth
we can't take too much time to switch.
Well,
Thank you. I love it.
The truth is that many people don't read as much anymore, and so people are busy. They're well-intentioned towards reading, but we want things that they can pick up, use, and digest easy. You know, I can do longer books, but we just need things that we can digest. So it is also a very reflective book. So you're going to need a journal when you are reading it, because there are exercises for the readers to do. And so I want the time to be spent on the reflection and the introspection.
Okay, excellent. I'm definitely going to check it out. I love books. I love physical copies of books.
Me too.
So I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I was telling a guest last week, I think it was, that I'm listening to my very first audiobook right now, which is called The 5 a.m. Club. So it works for me in the morning. So all the listeners know I'm not the best morning person. So when I'm listening to The 5 a.m. Club, I'm feeling very inspired and, very sparked to get through my day. And I appreciate that's an audiobook. I much prefer having a physical book in my hands. So
and I love the smell of books.
Okay. Whenever I say that, people kind of look at me weird. So I don't say that. But I love to smell them. I love to kind of feel the paper against my face when it's brand new. I don't know why.
Yes.
We have these weird rituals we do with books, but it's what we do.
Yes.
And
the lovely, lovely quirks. So I'm so very happy to be here to talk about career transitions.
Yes, which you've done this.
Yes,
you have transitioned greatly in your life. So from an educator to entrepreneur, also an author, which falls under the entrepreneur hat. But now you're going into career coaching. So trying to coach people on their career transitions. How did all of these changes happen for you?
Okay, so I was in the classroom, and I had been in the classroom for a number of years. I absolutely love education. I love teaching. I love working with young people. They bring such a breath of life. I mean, there's the frustrations and so on, but they have such a curiosity and an interest and a zeal and zest for life that is wonderful to be around them.
Yes.
But I had a moment, and it was sparked by a question from a student. And I did this presentation, and it was on history. And she was like, so they didn't have any women that didn't, that contributed this much to this thing? And then I had another student who came up to me and said, hi, guess what? I've just written this small book and I'm going to publish it. And it was at that moment that I realized that my role as a teacher had changed. And I also realized that I did not understand the world that I was sending our students out into. And that was a very hard realization. You know, because you think as a teacher, I know this and I'm going to impart this knowledge on these students. But I realized that our students that they were able to get knowledge without me even being there. They had access to it. They didn't have to wait for somebody to take them to the library. They had it on their phones. They had it on their tablets. So I decided that I was going to go out into the world, come out of my comfort zone, take all of these words that we hear, risk-taking and lifelong learners. Half the time you don't know what these words mean, you know, these catchphrases. And I was just going to go and I was going to figure it out. And my, I've been on Mr. Toad's wild ride since then.
I don't know. I haven't heard this expression before. You got to repeat that one more time so it sticks with me.
I have been on Mr. Toad's wild ride. Remember the book Wind in the Willows?
Well, oh my gosh, yes.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Mr. Toad used to drive crazy all around the town and doing all sorts of things.
I think I remember the most about those books is it looked like water paintings.
Yes, they did.
That's what sticks with me right now.
Yes.
I found Mr. Toad books very boring as a child for me, but it was very artistic. It just looked like works of art.
Yes.
So it has stuck with me more than anything. I remember how these books look more than anything.
Yes, yes. So that's what it is. And I started out on an adventure. Created one business that dealt in my comfort zone, the first business. And it was dealing heavily with gifted and talented, because that's what I had specialized in, with gifted and talented students.
Okay.
And so on. So I am going to say this. I don't necessarily think that they're bad ideas. I just think that oftentimes the time is not right for the idea.
I understand that.
Yes. So gifted is a really interesting field, because there are people who are not comfortable with that idea. There are people who are not comfortable with the idea that you could have a young person, a child, who is way advanced than you are. That's very confronting. And if you have a type of ego and they come and you can't answer questions, or you don't know you can't understand what they're saying, it puts you in a very uncomfortable situation. And so a lot of times we tend to focus on the children that we think need more help, not realizing that those are students that need help too. So I started off going around that role, got some traction with that, but that didn't work out as well as I would like it to work out. And then I started making treats for friends, just giving away as gifts and so on for Christmas. And they were like, you can do this? It was the marshmallows. And I was like, I wonder if I could make marshmallows. And so that's what I started to do. And people were like, you can make marshmallows? And I was like, I can make marshmallows. And then
I feel like as a Canadian, I should know how to make marshmallows, but I don't.
No. I tell people it's a sticky business.
Yes.
It's a sticky, messy business that can be dangerous because you're dealing with sugar at very high temperatures. So I was like, I started off and then I was like, I wonder if I could make different flavors. And from that, I then created 30-something flavors, both sweet and savory.
Wow.
But the market was not ready for the savory. Maybe now they will be, but at that time they weren't. But they embraced the sweet. I had my passion fruit, I had my rose, I had vanilla, I did a chai, I did a coconut, whatever my fancy was at that time. And if you haven't realized it, I love food. So whatever I was out eating and I was like, I wonder how this would be as a marshmallow. And then I would sit down, I would create the formulas, and then I would start experimenting and practicing.
Okay.
And then I had my group of tasters, and I'd be like, here, come, would you like to taste this? Get the feedback, and then go forward from there.
I'm sure it wasn't hard to become one of your tasters, was it?
Well, you had to have. And I would set out guidelines for people in terms of like mouthfeel and smell and the flavors, the beginning flavor, the end flavor. You know, you guide people. It has to be somebody who can go beyond it. This tastes good.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It has to be somebody who is willing to explore that and also explain why they don't like something. It just can't be like, I don't like this. Okay, yeah, I get it. You don't like it, but why? What is it? Is it that the texture is off?
Okay.
Yeah.
Too sweet, too tangy.
Too tangy.
Yeah.
What is it? Are the flavors unbalanced? Like, what is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so those are my...
So there's a bit of a criteria to be a food tester is what you're trying to tell me. And yourself, it sounds, sounds like.
It is.
All right.
It is.
So you're still doing the powdered monkey.
I still am doing the powder monkey, and from that I went on. I had an elderly lady from Guyana teach me how to make plantain chips, and then I was like, oh, I wonder if I could make different flavors of plantain chips. And so then I started to create different flavors, and right now I have my deliciously salty maple barbecue, cheese, piri piri.
Why do I don't know about the chips.
Oh, don't worry. I bought you a gift.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna know about the chips soon.
Yes,
with listeners. Okay, wonderful, awesome.
So through all of this, I had to figure everything out, right? Because I'm starting the company from the bottom. I didn't know anything. I had to be called around. My father had a friend, and he passed away, but he was a food scientist, and he said to me, "You need to have the formulas, but you need to measure it in this particular way so that when you need to scale up or scale down, this is what you do." And I was like, okay, check.
How handy was that piece of information?
Listen, if you have somebody that is just willing to even give you a part of a key, you can then build and start to unlock things for yourselves. But it's something where people are willing to share.
But this is a food scientist, which I feel like those are very scarce people, almost like ninjas. Like we've heard about them, but are they really true? These people that can make food taste a certain way. So
and it is amazing because I've met so many people on this journey. Like I met a lady and her husband. I do a lot of traveling. We do a lot of traveling, and we were on a plane and we were just there talking. And it turns out that they owned a company that specialized in scents, the smell. And I don't remember the word for it now. And we got to talking, and then they said, okay, well, that's how I found out, people spritz food perfumes. Like I didn't know that stuff. You know what I mean? And the thing is that when I was in teaching, you are always learning, because in education, you have a certain number of professional development hours you have to complete every single year. It is one of those professions that you are always developing. You can't sit back on your laurels and like, yes, I know this.
Right.
Because every year you are getting new challenges, new faces, new experiences, and you got to be willing to up your game.
Yeah, you have to know all the new tools that come out. You have to know how to teach these. Use of these tools.
The use of these tools, you have to listen. And that taught me how to balance on waves and water. That's what that did.
It's very hard to do.
Yeah, but it strengthens your core.
Yes.
It strengthens your core. And at first, when you're in it, sometimes you complain because you're like, this is too much. This is a lot of information that I am now having to break down and understand. But let me tell you, it prepared me in a really, really interesting way. And if I look at the book, right, the fact that it's a book that is based on or pushing people to have a more reflective practice came out of education, came out of teaching. Because every day you sit there. Well, first of all, you're tired. So you kind of just sit back, like trying to catch your breath from the day. But you sit there and you reflect. And sometimes you think to yourself, after you've planned a lesson and you think that you have accounted for every variable, and then there's a word that we use in Barbados called cat spraddle. And then they come along.
Oh, you have to explain the word cat spraddle.
Yes. Cat spraddle is when something just comes and just turns you topsy-turvy, upside down.
I just got a kitten, so I know what this is like.
Yes, the cat spraddle. But you also see a cat when it spraddles out, right?
Yes, yes.
Right. So that's how you are sometimes. You know, you think that you're like, yes, you start your day off and you're like, I am in control of this day and I know what this day is going to look like. And then you get cat spraddle.
I got a cat spraddle us right now. We got to go to a commercial break. So we're going to go to commercial break. We're going to come back and return to the story.
Yes.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or belly fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I am your host, Kathy Miller, and I'm speaking with Lydia Jackman. She's an educator, a coach, an author, and entrepreneur, and we're hearing about how she started with education. She transitioned to the Powder Monkey, which is her treats brand. It's her treats company. And then she started to talk a little bit about the book From Stress to Serenity. So we're getting into the author part of her, but I'm gonna allow Lydia to continue. I don't know if you remember the last thing that I said, but it was, or that you had even touched on, but it was cat spraggle?
It's cat spraddle.
Spraddle. Okay, cat spraddle. This is going to stick with me. It's a Bayesian term, from what I understand. Okay, it's a Bayesian term, cat spraddle.
Cat spraddle.
All right, so you were cat spraddled at some point. You got to bring me back to that part of the story.
Right. So it is when you are expecting that the day is going to go somewhere, a certain way, and then, or you expect that your lesson is going to go a certain way, and then you sit there and you're like, well, that did not work at all. That was a little disastrous. And then you have to figure out how you're going to move forward with that. And also the fact that, children, I always tell people, education is 20% teaching and 80% repeating yourself.
Oh, it's great. It's like marketing.
Yeah, you think you're like, And so yesterday when we did say X, Y, and Z, and they're like, we did that yesterday? I'm like, yes, we did for a whole hour. But, the reflective practice. And I find that sometimes, because we are so busy in our careers and so busy in our life, life has become busy.
Yeah.
Not just busy, but noisy.
Yes. Very cluttered.
Very, very, very cluttered. And, sometimes you just want to lie down. You don't want to think about the day and whatever. But the difficult thing is that even though you don't want to think about the day, if you don't deal with certain things, you spend the night ruminating about it as opposed to sleeping. So when I wrote this book, when I decided, okay, I'm going to take my experiences and I'm going to put it in this book, and I'm going to actually start working with people, working with clients, working with professionals. I realized that the starting point needed to be in terms of asking questions. And it's through those questions that people would begin to seek answers for themselves. And also, in terms of actually writing the book, I realized that there's so much financial literacy out there. But when you talk about people being made redundant, people who want a career break, a change, people who are facing retirements, entrepreneurs that or people that are interested in going into their own business, or people who have done their own business and then for whatever reason they're like, I'm tired of this. I've had enough. I realize that when you are going through all of these things, working world, professional world, there is an emotional toll, there's a mental toll, there's even a spiritual toll. And there wasn't any real literature. There wasn't too much literature really focusing on that. A lot of it was, okay, if you're going to retire, you have to make sure you have this money in the bank, and you have to do this, and you have to do that. When I stopped,
people be stressing you out every step of your life, really. All these things to think about. Yeah.
And let me tell you this. So let's take, for example, retirement. Mm-hmm. There is a side of retirement we don't talk about. And that side is the fact that people are living longer, and because they're living longer, people are retiring to become caretakers. Mm-hmm. So you have a 65-year-old or you have a 70-year-old who is now caretaking for somebody in their 90s. The exhaustion, even thinking about it.
My mom is actually doing that.
She's
that
doing that.
age.
Wow.
Yeah. 75 this year.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
She has a caretaking, a home care company.
Yes.
But she's been in nurse management, a director of care her whole entire life.
Yes.
So that's interesting.
It's interesting. It is. And I've spoken to people and they're like, I now have to take care of my elderly mother or father. I now have to take care of an elderly relative. And that's not how they thought retirement was going to go. Or you have people who are retiring but are actually becoming parents. Something has happened to their child. So they have grandchildren now that they're care. I've actually taught like that, where it was a situation where it was 6 children and their parents died. Now you have a grandparent that have 6 children. Do you know how much energy you have to keep up with a 3-year-old? Or how much mental capacity and emotional maturity to deal with a 14-year-old?
Mm-hmm. I feel like you have a 14-year-old the way you're clenching your fists right now.
No, because you work with them, but it requires a lot.
Okay.
And you imagine now thinking that I'm going into retirement, I should be resting, or I should be doing what I want to do, and you have this, or you even have parents who are taking care of their children who can't take care of themselves. Mm-hmm. They may have gotten into an accident. They may have, God forbid, a cancer, some disease. And now you have parents that are taking care of grown children and vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are the realities that people are facing. And I think that we have to help people prepare for these things. Help people deal with their own baggage that they can now be in better shape to deal with whatever comes, whatever situation comes. If you want to leave a job, that you're clear enough now to realize. And I do say this in the book. I don't encourage people to just jump up and quit. Don't do that. Mm-hmm. Unless it's something life-threatening. Don't just jump up and quit. Take your time and work out a plan and get yourself as healthy as you can before.
That's always the advice that I hear. Sometimes it doesn't happen like that. Sometimes you're forced to all of a sudden switch a career, right? And you don't really have that plan laid down. Sometimes you're terrified, kind of frozen, and you want to make that change, but you're just you're stuck where you are and don't even know how to take that kind of first step, right? So that's part of the career coaching that we can get into as well. But I want to stick to the book right at this moment, at least. What would you say are the main themes that we can find in the book, From Stress to Serenity?
Okay, so there are quite a number of themes in the book that I deal with. So I have an important one, which is, there's a chapter called What About Your Friends?
I can hear the song. What about your friends? Yes, anyways.
Yes. So
we want to keep our listeners tuned in. So that's the only line you're going to get of me singing.
There's, the state of your relationships. And so there's focus on that because relationships, friendships, that helps with our mental and emotional health.
Oh, hugely, yeah.
But sometimes we are so busy, we push those things aside. And unfortunately, when we catch ourselves, somebody may have passed away. They're no longer there or they may have moved away. We don't prioritize it, because the order is usually work and then family. And whatever else.
Not family, then work?
Some people are family, then work, but some people are work, then family. We have to, there are people who spend more time at work than they do at their house. For whatever reason. There's a myriad of reasons for that. So we do that.
I'm glad that you brought up that friendship is one of the themes that you focus on in this book because it can be a touchy subject as well as adults. And unfortunately, there's that mantra, no new friends, which I don't believe in whatsoever.
Yes, no new friends.
I'm like, how limiting and boring is your life if you're, in my opinion, if you go by the idea of no new friends. We evolve and we grow, we change. And I would hope that I'm going to meet new people along that journey and bring them into my life and evolve in those friendships and whatnot. Hopefully I can hang on to some other ones from, my past and bring that into my future. But friendship is a really big part of our lives. I think I read or I saw a video somewhere where it said that sometimes a friend, when they're going through something, they just need 8 minutes of your time. And so they might be feeling really, really low and you feel, I've got to spend a lot of time with this person. And you might be putting pressure on yourself, but really it's just kind of 8 minutes that they might want to vent or talk to you about. I think we learned during COVID how important human connection is, just being able to talk to people. Because I saw a lot of apps, a lot of social media apps really had a lot of engagement and a lot of interaction going on during that time. But it showed us that we need people.
Yes.
So whether it's relationships, some of us have them, some of us don't. Friendships, whether it's your people that you work with, your colleagues.
Yes.
Just being able to kind of establish that connection.
Very much so.
It's so important for our own mental health. Our ability just to be able to go forward, get what we got to get done, check in, and know that, okay, I'm on the right path right here. I'm going through a similar struggle. I can get some advice or support here, whatever it might be. But I'm glad that is a theme in your book because we do, as you said, often put friendship as a low priority. And I think it should be one of those main priorities in our lives.
And the thing about it is that people don't necessarily do it intentionally, but people are tired. People are exhausted. And what is so funny to me is that a lot of people are now calling themselves introverted. You're not introverted. Some people are not introverted. You're just tired.
Yeah, you're tired.
Just people out, right?
We don't have the capacity for a lot of things.
You don't have the capacity for a lot of things. So as a career coach, what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you sort through these different aspects of your life so that you hear people talk about balance, right? What we're going to do is to locate where the imbalances are. And once we locate that, okay, then how can we right-side that a bit? And you're going to have to make some hard decisions sometimes, right? And I always say to people in terms of money, there will come a point when the money will not be enough. That you will hit that wall. You will hit that money wall where it is not, because then you realize that what you are giving up for money is life energy, is your chi. You're giving that up. And then you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. So as a career coach, we're going to explore that relationships, and that ties into this one of the parts in the book here because they also deal with retirement. And if you permit me, I'll read a part.
Absolutely. Okay. I'd love to hear a part.
Okay. So in terms of relationships, we talk about friendships, we talk about relationships, and we're going to talk about it in the context of retirement now. And it says, this is on page 95. A final consideration is that there may be people around you who are not happy about your retirement. It isn't that they aren't happy for you, but they recognize your retirement signals changes in their lives that they may not be ready for. For example, a long-standing housewife who's accustomed to ruling the home and making decisions may not be excited to have someone in their space who offers suggestions on how to do things differently. Or An adult child may not be happy with a parent with more time on their hands who frequently comes over unannounced and offers unsolicited advice. Further, the expectations regarding the role of being a grandparent may now change, and you may be expected to happily relinquish hours of your time in order to babysit and or drive children around. If we're not mindful, we may find ourselves fixing things that don't need fixing, offering unsolicited advice, and unintentionally causing annoyance where we expected retirement to mean peace and quiet. Right? So, so,
it shows a different relationship aspects changing, the dynamics changing.
The dynamics change.
Given the scenarios.
Yeah. And women don't want to admit that, but we don't want no man. If we're in the house and that's our domain, we don't want no man coming puttering around, offering suggestions.
Well, I mean, if you're going to offer, do. Don't just offer, do.
Yeah, and even then. And, it shows that oftentimes, too, men have a harder time with retirement than women. They have a hard time adjusting. And also, in terms of, there was a word that you used earlier, right? And you used the word stuck. Mm-hmm. And so we need to, when I have the clients coming in and you're working with the client, you need to understand, unless, what do you mean by stuck? Are you gorilla glued to the ground? Like, there's a difference, or is that just a feeling? Mm-hmm. And where is it? Is it just about a particular project? Is it about work? Is it in the personal life? Is it that you want to explore a different aspect of your career? We were talking earlier, and you said, I have stuck with journalism.
I think media. Media marketing. Because you said something about how I had an interesting career, something, right? And I was like, but I've only been in when I say only, I've only been in media marketing like my whole entire life.
Yeah.
So, because I meant to think when you'd said that it was different industries that I'd been involved in.
Yeah, no, you have had such a varied path in that. Like, you've explored all of these different areas. And I'm so curious because in there was the skate park, and I was like, skate park? What's the skate park? What's happening with the skate park? And doing work in that and all of these different fields. So it may be that, you are thinking, or an individual is thinking, I'm stuck, but it's exploring that and realizing, I'm not as stuck as I think I am. Mm-hmm. I may have to sit back in this for a little while I figure out what it is. Do I want to go in a completely new field? Mm-hmm. Which is what I did.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We got to go to a commercial break right now.
Yes.
So I want to touch on that is when people are ready to change, what are those steps? How do you coach them through the next steps for them to take?
Yes.
Let's touch on that. We got to go to a commercial break right now. Okay. When we come back, we'll touch on that question.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Cruise into summer with expert service from Automotive Art Cayman. More than a retail store, it's your one-stop auto care shop. We offer paint, detailing, accessories, wheels, Yamaha parts and products, batteries, tire repairs, tire changes, and more. Need top-tier shine and protection? Grab Gliptone detailing gear, Chevron synthetic oil, and Axiom car care kits. Get expert service with premium products all under one roof. Wherever you cruise, make your pit stop at Automotive Art first. Find us on Shedden Road and follow us at Auto Art KY on Instagram and Automotive Art Cayman on Facebook.
It's all about Immerse Summer Camp 2025. Calling all adventurers ages 10 to 14. Join us for a week of hands-on fun field trips, and expert-led sessions inspired by the museum's exhibits. Choose week 1, July 21 to 25, or week 2, July 28 to August 1, with camp running daily from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Just $200 a week with limited spots available. Explore, discover, and create this summer. Visit museum.ky/immerse for more information.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and in studio with me, I have Lydia Jackman. She's an educator, coach, author, and entrepreneur, and we are talking about her brand new book, From Stress to Serenity, Navigating Career Transitions with Clarity, Improved Health, and a Strategic Plan. And right now we're talking about those career transitions because she's also a career coach. And I think the question I'd ask when it comes to transitioning, you know, how you help people in those first steps. But even before we get there, when it's time for us to pivot, what are those signs that a person might be having? Or let's say it's me. I'll throw it on me, for example. If I'm thinking about it or these ideas have been, you know, running across my mind, I want to change my career. I want to go into finance all of a sudden. It seems like a very lucrative career. I could make a lot of money. You know, what would be the signs that maybe it is time for me to change? Maybe I'm not in the right industry.
There's so many. There are internal signs and external signs. The external signs is when somebody says, you and I've had to say this to people, I've known you for this amount of time and I've seen you changing. And that's really hard to hear. So sometimes our spouse, our friends, the people around us might say to us, hey, what's happening? I'm noticing these changes in you. Because let's get this clear. Most people do not transition in a career because they're happy. Most people transition because they've reached a point where they might be frustrated or they're bored. They feel as if they're resentful. I just did a whole post on LinkedIn about resentment, a whole series. I have one more. It's 3 in total. But usually something happens where it changes their idea of who they are, or it changes the idea of the place they're in. And they realize, wait a minute, there's a little bit of misalignment here. What's happening? The other thing is you might notice changes, physiological changes. You might notice changes in your body. You might notice changes in your sleep patterns. You might notice that, you know, you are not as excited with one particular subject, but then you might go and do something else and you're like, wait a minute. Ooh, I like how I feel doing this. Right? So there are a number of different things, but we inherently know. And let me tell you, they have some people that they're going to hold on by a fingernail onto that for whatever reason. In the book, I talk about guilt and fear as the reasons
of hanging on to the job,
of hanging on to something that we know that it doesn't work for us. And the thing about it is, it doesn't mean that you have to leave. What it means is you have to get some clarity on what you want so you can renegotiate, set boundaries, and reignite that spark in yourself. It doesn't necessarily mean that you leave the place. It may mean you go to a different department.
But there's the very real scenario of you might be going into a different situation where it'll be worse for you, right? But then people might not want to change their career, their job, because either they might not have the education that could kind of support them, or the upskilling, the training that could support them in that change.
Yes, valid
and, you know, they have a family to care for. And the bills here are really high. The cost of living is really, really high. So that alone, that fear period that I might not do better, is a very, very real one. And it's almost like a career change can be a bit of a self-fulfilling movement. Not just, but it can be. And when you have so many other aspects to think about, it's not always
feasible at that point in time. But it's something that you can work towards. But when I get the clients, what I do, the first thing I do is listen. I shut my mouth and I let you talk. Why are you here? Why am I here? You know, and we hear the conversations, because what I'm listening for is the underlying. I'm trying to find what is the underlying thing. Words, I love words. And words are never what we think they are. And I always give this example. When I did the book launch, right? So I hear people use the word potential. Do you know what potential really means?
Potential is that little bit of that's in you that can be more. That's how I would define it.
You know what potential is?
What?
Chaos.
What? How is it chaos?
Potential is chaos because it is undefined. It is undefined. So if you are working with somebody and you keep saying, oh, they have potential, that is code for that. At some point, you might want to reach out and.
So when you describe a man, ladies,
as potential,
he has potential. What she's saying is that he's chaos. Run.
Yeah, because that potential may never become realized.
Oh, unfortunately, I know this.
Yes. Potential is not something
and it's giving me chaos.
Yes, and it's going to be chaos. Yeah. We have to link words. We have to understand what words mean. So when the client comes to me and they tell me something, if they tell me efficient, you know what I hear? I hear that that person is probably a bit of a pain in the neck.
Oh.
And you know why? Because efficient people want things done in very specific ways, and they can want things down to the letter. Right? And working with an efficient person can be good in some ways, but in other ways, it can drive you nuts.
Oh, geez. I'm starting to wonder about myself now. I like to think I'm efficient.
It can be really, really. So everything has its different sides, right? So it's helping clients to understand that, to explore that. So when they start, I say to them, okay, tell me some words. Tell me what's going on. I'm listening. And then I start to chip away at what is that. I start to go underneath what that is and start to figure out, okay. You resentment is one. I like I said, I wrote about resentment. And resentment presents itself in so many different ways. The last one. Yeah. I know time is getting up.
Time is getting right. Yeah. Resentment can come across in sickness and illnesses in your body as well. So that's that's interesting. A lot to learn from through your book there. So okay. So the first thing you do is sit down with them and listen.
Sit down and listen. You have to listen.
What are the next guiding steps that you take?
So the next guiding steps is as we listen, then I start to work out a plan for you. Okay, what is it that you want, or what is it you want to work towards? Maybe you just need a sabbatical. Maybe you just need leave, a break, a proper break. And what can you realistically take? Can you take 1 month? Can you take 3 months? Can you take 6 months? What can you take financially? And also, what will the workplace be willing to let you do? Because some people just need that break where they can go off island, etc. We also look at crafting conversations, the conversations that you're going to need to have with a partner or a spouse. Because a partner or a spouse has to be able to support you. They may have to support you financially. They may have to support you emotionally and mentally. And some people are not willing to do that.
I think that's a really important point, because when you have agreed into a partnership, into a marriage, you're not just thinking about yourself. You have to think about the person you're married to, the family that you have, and the decisions that you make that will impact them as well. So you have to be on the kind of same floor with your conversations, with what your goals are.
Yeah, and the book also, this is something, I know we have such short time. The book deals with culture, understanding your culture. You have to understand what your culture tells you about work, what your culture tells you about success, what your culture tells you about taking a break, about changing careers. There are cultures that are unmerciful.
Absolutely.
Towards that. They're like, wait, what? What?
Yep.
I was, and you would have, sometimes you even have spouses or parents that say to you, I have never missed a day of working 15 years. And you're like, well, that's you. Good for you. Good for you.
And they gave you a plaque? Congrats for not missing one day in 15 years.
You get that. So you have to be able to have those conversations, and you have to be able to set boundaries, and you have to get the language and the tools so that you end up with what you want and not acquiescing to what other people think you should want or what other people think you should have.
What happens when you know you want to change, but you don't know what you want? You don't know how you want to transition.
Well, we will take that potential and
that chaos,
and we will try to figure it out. Let me tell you. And there's a part in the book, we don't have time to read it, but there's a part in the book where I talk about people say they want change. We say we want change. But most of us really and truly don't want change. We want other people to change. We want the situation to change because change is work.
Change is work,
is
yeah.
hard work and sometimes painful work because it means that we have to confront the things that we don't want to confront. And we have to stop telling ourselves lies and we have to face the truth of certain things.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Do we have time to do one little reading?
Yes,
one more little reading?
I had to figure out, I'm like, oh gosh, where am I going to do this?
We're going to do one more little reading.
Let's talk about change.
All right,
yeah,
let's
do
do
that
it.
one. And this is on page 19. This disconnect between wanting to change and being resistant to it can create a puzzling dynamic. We might find ourselves in a cycle where we claim to seek change but resist it when it comes knocking at our door. Or we express a desire for change, yet when someone attempts to bring about change, we react in bewildering ways. I've seen enemies become allies to get rid of someone in an organization just because they were making changes to improve the work system. Or we've witnessed the microaggressions of people who said they wanted to change but then whined and complained that it was happening too fast, how they lacked input in regards to the change process, and constantly bringing up the past failed attempts to bring about change. Change starts within us. You're laughing like you know.
Because I feel I need to highlight that and send that to somebody very in particular.
Change starts within us. It's a process of self-awareness, self-reflection, and self-acceptance. It means being open to examining our beliefs, behaviors, and attitudes while being willing to let go of what no longer serves us.
I think that was a great excerpt to end on right here. Yes. I appreciate your time with us. Thank you so much, Lydia.
Thank you.
There's so much we could talk about, but our conversation just went on its own direction.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We didn't even touch half of this.
If people want to get your book From Stress to Serenity and find out about your career coaching, how do they get in touch? How do they find your book?
So the book is on Amazon. You can both get a digital copy. I also have hard copies. You can reach out to me. I'm at CMC, which is Caribbean Masterclasses.gmail.com, or you can check out our website, CaribbeanMasterclasses.org.
We're going to have you back real soon.
So
you make some room in your schedule for me, please.
Yes.
We got to have you back real soon because there's so much more, especially with career transitions that I want to discuss.
Yeah.
So much to talk with you about. And I know that you have some chips right there that you learned.
I bought these for you because I know the Canadian connection. So I decided to present you with the maple.
Thank you very much.
Maple barbecue.
Some maple barbecue plantain chips.
Plantain chips.
These are going to be the only ones in the world, I've decided. So looking forward to having this, to flexing on my Canadian friends and my Caribbean ones as well. So
yes.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. It was great to have you. We're going to have you back soon again. We're going to go to the 9 a.m. news, and then we're going to get into a little bit about fitness.
Yesterday,
Today,
always and forever.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Cayman's racking up the medals in the first 2 days of the Island Games in Orkney, Scotland. Karthika Dappa making a strong showing in men's gymnastics, winning a first gold for Cayman in the individual parallel bars. And swimmer Sierra Broadbelt won gold for the women's 100-meter butterfly. In international headlines, a Dutch registered medical evacuation aircraft crashed shortly after takeoff from London's Southend Airport, erupting in a fireball. The airport temporarily shut down as emergency crews responded. Authorities are investigating the cause. 4 people were killed in the crash. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres is calling on international mediators to ensure that any ceasefire between Israel and Hamas leads directly to renewed talks on a 2-state solution. He warned that temporary calm will not bring lasting peace unless deeper issues are addressed. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or belly fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we are talking a little bit about fitness this morning. We're going to get you moving. At least we're going to get me moving because I haven't been moving in days. I know people in the fitness industry don't like to hear when I say I haven't been moving in days. We're talking like 2,000 steps over a few days. It's really bad, especially when the aim is at least 10,000 per day. But anyways, we're talking with FS8 Cayman. And in studio with me this morning, I have owner and manager Ian Smith, and I have Belinda Rice. She's the head of training. So good morning. How are you doing today?
Morning, Kathy. Thanks for having us.
No problem. Did you all move this morning? Did you all get your exercise in?
I have.
Okay, all right.
Well,
I was expecting that from you.
Sorry to jump in there.
I have 2 little boys, so sort of.
So yeah, sort of. But you'll be getting for the rest of the day. I'm sure you're focused on some fitness as well. All right, now I've seen FS8. I wasn't even sure if I was saying it right. So even when you walked in, I said, "Okay, am I missing something here? Is this supposed to be said a different way?" And you're like, "No, you got it, Kathy."
That's right.
Now, the whole concept behind this fitness facility, can you tell us about it? Because it's not like a regular gym, right?
No, so it's a Pilates-based workout. So we have, we use the reformers and mats and a bunch of different props. And it is not a traditional Pilates studio either. We are mixing modalities. So it is yoga, toning and Pilates mixed within one class. So it makes for a super fun workout. It's a little bit faster pace. We're a little bit louder than a traditional Pilates class.
I always hear the thing about Pilates arms.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm always hearing for women that want those amazing kind of looking arms to go to Pilates. I mean, I look at you, I can see that, partly this is true. This is the thing. But Pilates is a very interesting workout. I've never done it. I've never actually tried it myself. I feel like I have too many injuries right now that I'm scared of what I would
injuries
do.
is why you should come and do it.
Really?
Yeah, so Pilates is a great injury prevention, actually. Yeah, it creates balance in the body. You're trying to have muscle groups work around your joints equally, so you have good support, good stability, good balance. So it's actually very good for injury prevention.
I never would have thought that.
So, yeah.
And I know it's hard because I keep seeing the videos of, I'm going to say like professional footballers, whether it's NFL or football, soccer football, of people trying out these athletes, male athletes trying out Pilates. They would kind of make fun of women. My woman goes to Pilates or my girlfriend does, and they can barely breathe once they get on the machines. Is it as hard as it looks?
It's harder than I think people expect. Yeah, the way I describe it is it's very humbling, and we want to see more guys in the studio.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it does benefit everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think there's a preconception or a misconception that it's easy or a light workout, a bit of stretching, but it's anything but. The reformers are a serious piece of equipment, and yeah, you really work the body hard. And with the FS8 classes as well, very dynamic. So, a lot of the feedback we got when we first opened was, members were coming out just like surprised how challenging the workout was, sweating, muscles shaking. So it's not just the classes are 50 minutes. You're not just there, gently stretching and staring at the ceiling, you're actually working pretty hard, but it's also very low impact, which ties in with the injury prevention, so prehab and rehab as well.
Okay. Now, Belinda, you have this look in your eye. You're like, yes, everybody, you do get a good sweat. It is low impact, but you just had this look that, people don't know what to expect.
It's a lot of stabilizing muscles, lower laying muscles that are being used that may get neglected, depending on what you do. Like people that go to the gym a lot, they're super fit, they're very strong. They don't necessarily work on those lower laying stabilizing muscles, and then they come into one of our classes and they're starting to shake, they tremble, and they're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? So it's really good. It's a really good support.
Can you target specific muscles?
Yes.
You can. Okay. And I guess that's part of some of the exercises that you do.
Yes, exactly. And it's meant to be for everybody. So no matter who you are, how old you are, how fit you are very welcome to come. We will then just make adjustments. Like the great thing about Pilates in general, or our classes, is that we can tailor towards individuals depending on what it is that your body needs.
Okay. Now, for my own satisfaction, because I've never taken a Pilates class, and sometimes I read about an intro to Pilates class or mat Pilates or the reformer Pilates, I don't know what the difference in styles are, if these are even differences in styles. If there is difference in styles when it comes to Pilates, could you explain what that is and how you would begin or start off as a complete beginner to Pilates?
So yes, there are many different versions or styles, 100%. It very much depends what you are looking for. So there is clinical Pilates. Pilates is a huge topic, and actually Pilates has a lot of different pieces of equipment. So it's kind of endless what you can do with it. What we do is kind of specific to FS8. The way we mix the modalities and the way we use the reformer is not how you would in a traditional Pilates class. So I would say it depends. Do you want to work out? Do you want to sweat? Do you want to burn? Like, where the place for you? If you want to move at a very slow pace and just, like, if you're looking for a more traditional classical Pilates setting, we're not that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. So what is your style then?
So our style is just, we are moving a little bit faster. We turn up the music. It's a fun environment. It's a little more upbeat, I want to say.
Okay.
We have timers running. So in a usual Pilates class, you have the instructor that counts or supports you moving through the exercises. So we have an actual, like, our classes are programmed and there's a timer on. So you move at a fairly quick pace, and it's a different combination of exercises as well.
Okay.
The way we target certain things, and then we have a different class focus every day. So one day will be strength focused, one day will be cardio focused, one day will be more traditional Pilates focused. So we're moving through different focuses every day.
Okay.
And then also some days will be upper body, some days will be lower body, some days will be core. So it's like a super fun way of, like, coming in every day into a brand new workout. It's very, very versatile. So you can't get bored. It's
right. So many different things to do.
Plus you're on this machine. You never do the same workout twice. So there's a lot of variety, which keeps people coming in because you're not doing the same thing over and over again. Keeps producing results, because again, you're not just doing the same thing, you're pushing your body in different ways. It is repeatable. You can come in, every day if you want, because it is low impact as well.
Okay.
So I think we're not trying to differentiate ourselves necessarily, but I think, Pilates globally, it's the fastest growing fitness modality at the moment. And FS8 has tried to take the best bits of that traditional side and combine it into a dynamic workout that changes every day.
Okay.
So it's nice and challenging. Nice and fun.
I like the idea of it changing every day because, oftentimes your workouts can be kind of boring and you're doing the same repetitive kind of things, whether you're working on legs or upper body, whatever it is, a few times a week. It's often the same things. You might be throwing a different exercise in here or there just to kind of shake up change that muscle memory a little bit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you want to keep coming. And if it's fun, you're going to keep
Yes.
coming. If you're bored, I'm going to skip today.
Right.
So that, yeah.
So I wouldn't know what to expect. So when you said you got the music loud and pumping in there, I kind of think, okay, I'm expecting a bit of a yoga vibe in that sense of a room for Pilates, right? But this is different because in yoga you don't have music,
I mean, it
pumping,
looks,
right?
It looks serene and nice, I think, and luxurious.
Yes,
but,
it does. It looks beautiful.
And then once the class starts, we pump up the energy. So
yeah, I've seen the studios. It looks online so far, so it does look beautiful. It looks great. What has the reception been since it's been in Cayman Bay?
I think it's been great. Like, we generated a lot of interest early on. We opened just before Christmas. We had a large number of members sign up initially, and I think the pleasing and surprising thing was the majority of our members that signed up initially had never done Pilates before. So they were looking for something different, something new. We've had a lot of people come in who have done a bit of Pilates, but probably haven't necessarily found the right form or whatever it might be. So, it's been good. I think the engagement has been really good. We've seen our members, I've got quite a few members that have already hit over 100 classes. So, there's a lot of consistency there. We're 6 months in, 7 months in.
That's really good.
Yeah. So, I think it's challenging. We're seeing some really good results, or the members are.
Yeah.
We're just trying to create an awesome community where people can come in, have a great workout.
I know the demand is growing because the interest is definitely there, because I've seen through some friends on social media trying to get into some of your classes. I think it's like early on a Saturday morning. Early for me, I would say, is 8 a.m. to work out on a Saturday or Sunday. And apparently there's wait lists and all the rest for people to get into the classes. And I'm like, I don't want to be on a wait list for anything at that time on a weekend morning, right? But
we certainly went through that period where
it shows how popular it is.
Waitlisted, which it was good to see, and the reception was great. But things have kind of steadied out a little bit more now. I think people are finding their routines, so not coming necessarily 7 times a week, but like I said earlier, or like we mentioned, it is a workout in itself. It's not something that you substitute, a couple of times a week necessarily. You can, but if you're looking for something to do to get fit, to strengthen, lengthen muscles, build your core, whatever it might be, like, this is an all-encompassing workout. You don't need to substitute or fill in gaps with other types of workouts if you don't want to.
Well, we got to go to a commercial break right now, but when we come back, I want to know why people would choose to opt to have a workout like Pilates as opposed to your traditional workouts in the gym, for example. What would make somebody say, hey, you know what, I want to try this method of working out instead? But we'll find out when we come back from the break. As well, we're going to hear about your Strength Resurge Challenge.
Summer's heating up and the water's calling. From cruising the coast in your boat to riding Yamaha Wave Runners, Automotive Art Cayman will get you ready. We offer expert servicing by Yamaha certified staff, as well as engine repairs, performance upgrades, engine and electrical installation, and more. Need it tuned, cleaned, repaired, or race ready? We'll keep you running smooth, whether you're riding waves or racing them. Trust Automotive Art for expert service and upgrades. Find us on Shedden Road and follow us at Auto RKY on Instagram and Automotive Art Cayman on Facebook.
We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of the Lord.
Radio Cayman, this is how we wake you up in the morning. Praise time on Radio Cayman.
Sing your praise to the Lord. Come on, everybody, stand up and sing one more. Hallelujah, give your praise to the Lord. We are united in Jesus Christ. We are the soldiers of the land.
Praise time.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
There's a meeting up in heaven. Roll call. He's a name in the Lamb's Book of Life. Roll call, brother, sister. Roll call. If you don't stop shouting, if you don't stop dancing, we're going to put you out of our church.
Praise time.
Jesus in the morning, yeah.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
Your song flowed through my lips. Your work moved through my hands. Your thoughts stay on my mind. Live in me.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I am your host, Kathy Miller, and we are talking with FS8. And it is a very nice Pilates studio that's up in Camana Bay. I was just saying, if you heard me before the break, that I have been seeing through my friends' social media platforms when they are trying to get into these Pilates classes on the weekends and they couldn't. And this was just in May. So it wasn't that long ago that the classes are very, very popular and filling up. And to me, that's a really good indication of how much people are enjoying the classes that you are offering. It's a different new workout that's offered in Cayman. Or I guess your version of Pilates is a little different than what people are used to in Cayman. So I guess the question I have here is, I'm more of a traditional girl when it comes to certain things. So I would have a gym membership, for example. I just started yoga about 1.5 years ago, which is different for me. But why would somebody opt to choose Pilates or consider Pilates as a workout compared to a traditional gym, for example?
I mean, what we have seen is, I own F45 as well. They're sister studios, and that's very high impact. Burning a lot of calories. People have not necessarily switched. We've kind of attracted a lot of members back from F45 who left F45 a few years ago because it was too high impact. So FS8 provides a fairly intense workout, which is still very low impact on the body. So I think that's the main difference that I have seen coming from my background, right, of F45. So it's not necessarily age-based. It's just people that are looking for something that's a little bit more gentle on your body, where, you wake up the next day and you don't feel like you've been hit by a bus. Obviously, some people love that. Not saying that that's what F45 does, but, you can really push yourself hard. We're also seeing a combination. I mentioned earlier that it is a workout in its own right, but, combining a few FS8 classes a week with some more higher intensity training that really complements and benefits each other as well. So, from a business and kind of training perspective, that's what I'm seeing is, people that want something that's a little bit more low impact, but still have that variety and still have that community feeling as well.
So you own F45 as well. So you have F45 and FS8. So are you kind of studying some fitness trends out there and seeing what's not just taking off and dying right away, but what's really taking off and sticking with people in their fitness regimes?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, Pilates is booming globally, and we've seen that in Cayman as well. When I first started, or when we first started talking about FS8, there were two Pilates studios here, the original ones, maybe 3.
Yeah.
And then, a few more have opened since. So, the demand definitely is there, and I think people are seeing, it's definitely trending on social media, but, I think the reality is that people are seeing the real benefit of, incorporating this kind of training into their lifestyle. So it's seeing a resurgence, if I can call it that. I think Pilates had its time when it was fairly new and came into the market, but it's definitely more popular with the younger generation from what we're seeing.
Okay,
so it's attracting a whole new type of member.
Okay, because the younger generation, I would say, is like sticks to their sports and, again, the traditional gym kind of look.
Yes.
So, okay, I like that. So for low impact people, which, could be me because I'm very injury prone or will forever be recovering from injuries, it would be a nice change for my body. It's still a great workout, just a little bit low impact if I was to consider Pilates.
Yeah, I mean, like Belinda mentioned earlier, we can, we provide modifications. We work with the members to make sure they can do something that's still in line with the programming and maintaining that integrity. But I'm injured at the moment. I know I can go to FS8 and work on certain things. It's fairly controlled, especially on the reformer. So, when you talk about high impact stuff, jumping from side to side, the plyometrics, if I should be avoiding that, then I know I can go to FS8 and still build strength in my, my muscles and strengthen those joints by staying in alignment on the reformer.
It's all about posture as well and correct alignment. It's all about building awareness as well. So you are practicing you're working on your alignment and your posture and the way your body moves functionally together so that when you do step out, you can carry that with you. So it is supposed to support you with everything else you do in life. So if you do have aches and pains and you work on your core strength, let's say, it provides a little bit of freedom within your body as well, so that when you do pick up heavy grocery bags or anything like that, you're so fine.
And that's where the F comes from, functional. So it's
Functional,
related
okay.
to functional training, functional everyday life.
Okay, I like that. So now I know it. If I was to ask you the question, how does the name? What's the inspiration behind the name? It's right there. Okay.
It's right there.
All right. So you do have a competition coming up, or a challenge, the Strength Resurge Challenge. Can you tell us all about what this challenge is?
Yes, so we do several challenges per year, actually. So this one is our second one since we've opened. And it's a motivation for people to have something to work towards. And people do love a good challenge, like our members do love it. You can get little prizes along the way, and you just have a goal to work for, to go for. So this particular challenge that's coming up has like a posterior chain focus, so back body, that ties in with our phase at the moment. So we go through these phases where we have a particular focus that we're working on, just meaning that if it is a lower body focus, maybe throughout over the course of 6 weeks, for example, we hone in a little more on those lower muscle groups. So the challenge ties into that as well. So it is a 30-day challenge, and people can either do a blue spring or a yellow spring is what we call it. So the reformer has spring tensions that make the tension heavier or lighter. Now a yellow spring has a heavier tension, a blue spring has a lighter tension, which is why we're using the name. Just a fun play of words. So doing a yellow spring means you're going to challenge yourself to come 4 times a week. Doing a blue spring means you challenge yourself to come 3 times per week. There'll be an attendance card. So that's one of the parts of the challenge, that you come continuously. And then we also have an exercise that we're working towards. So over the course of 30 days, we will do certain exercise that prepare members for what we call a snake. A snake is an advanced Pilates exercise on the reformer that it's a combination of strength, flexibility, and coordination. So it's a challenging exercise, and the goal is to get either to be able to master the snake at the end of the 30 days, or to get to a point that suits your body, that you didn't think you could do it, but at the end of the 30 days, you will be able to do it. So
I'd almost like to ask for an example of what the snake looks like, but I don't think it's possible to do this. But is it, because I have no idea what this move is?
It's like a plank that goes into like a rotational back extension.
What?
So you're like in a plank, but then you bend your body into back extension with a rotation.
Oh, that sounds
so
crazy.
Your spine gets rotated.
Okay.
Does that give you an image?
Yeah. Like a bit of like a twisting plank.
Yes.
Almost.
Kind of, yeah.
Is that, okay, some of us can't even get into a plank, so...
So there are several sort of exercises that prepare you for an exercise that is challenging, which is half of the fun to go through, to create a good base for our members. Like, I think we sometimes think that basic exercises are boring. They're not, because they're so important for this, that, and the other. And it's good to see that and to be aware of that. So people then do practice the more simple exercises with care, because that will give you the platform and the freedom to do the cool tricks.
Is being able to achieve that snake move within 30 days, is that a feasible time? Or... Because if I think about myself when I go to a yoga class and I'm like, yes, I would like to contort my body like this, but that's, in 10 years' time, maybe.
No, so it really very much depends on you and the way you work out in your body and where you're at the moment. But there are several goals that you can set for yourself that are maybe a version of the snake that you then can achieve within those 30 days. And this is where our trainers will guide you and help you and say, hey, for you, let's set this and that goal, and we'll support you achieve that. And then you have something to be super proud of. It doesn't have to be the full range motion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. There's always levels to it, right?
Always levels
so
to it. Yes.
Okay.
And I think one of the most important things for us, or for us to tell people out there, is that we do very much support every individual's journey. Like, you do not have to be a certain way or look a certain way, or you don't have to be able to do certain things in order to come and enjoy and in order to reach goals that suit you and your body. So
I think, advanced movements like the snake, they do pop up in our workouts from time to time, and the trainers are there to assist with any modifications, on the fly. I think something like this is a concentrated period where, we pick one exercise and people have that 30 days to build up to it. So a bit more focus, a bit more individual attention. And then hopefully at the end of it is, like, dependent on where you're starting from, is, you can either do the full snake almost perfectly or perfectly, or a slight variation of, but it's that focus period where, people can concentrate on, there's a target, right? And people love setting a goal. People love having a target. Our last challenge, we did 30 days and it was focused on attendance. So, attending, every day. We had quite a few members that did 30 days straight.
Okay.
Coming from an exercise background, I would say, and we do talk about rest and recovery, it's super important.
Right.
But again, Pilates and FS8 is something that is low impact enough that you can do it as long as you're managing yourself every day. But, seeing that was pleasing. I know there were a couple of members, 5:30 a.m. every single day. They were turning up. You're talking about 8 o'clock on a Saturday being early, but these people were coming, and we hadn't seen them in that class ever. And, to build that consistency through that 30 days, so for them, that was the target, right? Is I need to attend. This is a time I can only go.
And it
so
feels
it's building
great.
up to that.
You'll keep going, right?
Right.
I have members tell me, oh my gosh, I feel so good. If I don't get to come, I don't, I feel bad. They need that outlet then. Like, once you get used to it, it's just...
It's creating habits, right? And I think it's that 30-day period that really helps with that. We will make it fun. We always make it fun, hopefully.
Yeah.
But, we'll have a bingo card, so it won't just be ticking off your attendance. There'll be, certain things like attend a class with Belinda, or, attend a particular class or try a certain movement. So we'll gamify it a little bit and make it a little bit more, a little bit fun, which keeps it engaging as well.
Is there a prize at the end?
There will be a prize
Okay.
to be confirmed. It will be announced, but looking at weekly winners as well. So,
Okay.
I mean, we say winners, but obviously everyone that signs up is a winner. And we just want to see that consistency. But yeah, we will be awarding prizes again, just to keep that engagement and keep that fun element going.
Because I'm assuming that everybody kind of sets their own targets or certain targets, right?
Very much.
So it's hard to measure that amongst individuals in that sense. But
yeah, it's
there's
not
still
like
a grand prize in a
perform
sense.
the best snake and you're
Right.
the winner. No,
Right.
it's not going to be anything
No,
like
no,
that.
yeah.
Because I'd be there with my modified version.
It's more a challenge for yourself too,
Yeah,
right?
very,
It's you
Mhm.
wanting to create good habits and a challenge for yourself.
Okay. I think it's great. I think anything that encourages us as a community to move more in a sort of a network where we can support each other. I think this is a great challenge to have. So if people are interested in signing up for the challenge with FS8, what do they do?
They can send us an email. So Cayman Islands at FS8.com. And we'll send all the info that they need.
And where can we find you on, I guess, social media, website?
We're on Instagram and Facebook. Just search FS8 Cayman, and we will pop up.
All right. Any last words you want to leave with our listeners?
I don't know. Yeah, no. Come and
check it out.
Come and try us out.
Yeah.
Be pleasantly
And also,
surprised.
like, if people are welcome to step in, have a look around, come for a chat.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to see what kind of vibe it is. We're so the doors are open. People are welcome to just stop by anytime.
I do have a final question. I know I'm supposed to close the show, but I do have a final question because I think this was always something in my mind that to me, Pilates was an expensive health habit to take up. And I had to ask somebody, I was like, but it's almost the same cost of having a personal trainer. Why wouldn't I just have a personal trainer? And they had to explain to me, they're like, well, Kathy, I think it's the reformer machines are really quite expensive. And it is almost in a sense of having a personal trainer. Can you explain to people like me who might have been doubtful about understanding the value of this kind of workout, can you explain to us the price point when it comes to Pilates?
It's definitely a premium product and style of training, and certainly that's showing in the prices across the island. I feel we're competitive. We've got lots of different options to suit everyone, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, it is quite individualized. We also have TVs in the studio which show the exercises, so it's not just the trainer that's walking around and instructing and correcting and motivating. We have the TVs there, so there is a lot of guidance as well. And we like to think of ourselves as personal training in a group training environment. So we do have that hands-on care.
I'd like to add to that as well that the training for trainers to go through to become Pilates instructors is quite extensive as well. So there's cost involved there as well, on top of the equipment and the whole running of the business.
Right. I gotcha. It's that aspect of having that personal, almost that individual kind of trainer with you during a group class.
Yes.
Sticks out to me, I think, the most.
And we do make sure our trainers are well trained and
of course, yeah.
Yes.
So.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on The Buzz this morning and for, answering my final question there, because it was always, I just didn't get it, but I get it now. And it's for other people out there who might be having that same kind of question. So I wanted you to explain it. So thank you for taking the time, Ian. Thank you, Belinda. It was great to have you on.
Thanks for having us.
And I hope the challenge goes well. Let us know.
We'll see you there.
Yes.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of